is a very good day and a hearty welcome to yet another what promises to be an exciting episode of Strictly Football right here on ZBC Entertainment YouTube channel. And I hope and trust the show that we're going to be having today shall be outstanding, out of this world, informative, educative, and above all, full of banter, because I've got the right cast just to deliver such an episode for you today. And as always, we've got Coach Doubt with us. Good day, and always a pleasure to have you on the show.
How are you, my brother? How's everything?
Indeed, everything moving smoothly so far. And the days we are counting down to the local Premier Soccer League. The days we are counting down to the World Cup 2026 and many other great footballing spectacles that await us in 2026. And as well, I must say a very good day and a hearty welcome to Renat Gurati. Today, wearing a different cap on the other side of the chair as I sit on this one. It's good to have you on the show. Our belts on the other side of the chair.
Well, it is good and, well, a lot to talk about. Good weekend for Zimbabwean football, so a lot to talk about, indeed.
So much to look forward to, gentlemen. And, I mean, it's been a good start for Emmanuel Jalai. He has had his start in Durban. And we cannot start this week without talking about some of those players that are playing outside Zimbabwe and how they are doing. I know, Maswanhise as well can't stop scoring. Really, and I'm sure those are the last that we're going to be looking at. But July, Durban City, some would have said, okay, Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, Sundowns, but Durban City themselves are not too far away from the title chase. Yeah. They're sitting sixth on the log. Your take of that?
I think it was a very, very good start to his career, football career in South Africa. He was in the first 11, he played the whole 90 minutes, and he put on a good show. For somebody who was playing locally for Dynamos and also being one of the main characters at Dynamos, he proved to be the right person to join Durban City, and he started at right back wearing the number 2 jersey. He has always donned for Dynamos, and the color blue is always following him because Durban City were wearing blue and black, and their main color is always blue. Also, the same color as Dynamos. I didn't see this coming, although. That he was going to start this match. I thought maybe he would enter the phase of the match, maybe in the second half, just to get some minutes. But to be honest with you, he played a blunder of a game, and everything that he did was correct. And to be honest with you, Durban City, they got a gem in Jalai and Durban City. I think they're in the right platform and the right train to progress in terms of his career also. And with the goals and objectives of Durban City, it's a team that not many people here in Zimbabwe know most about. We all know about Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, and Sundowns. Most probably, we know the local supporters would have loved him to play maybe for Orlando Pirates, Kaizer Chiefs, or Sundowns. But this move, it was a great move because you have game time, and you always conquer when he's playing against the best wingers within the South African football. And definitely we'll look forward to that.
Ronald, him starting from the fray, he speaks of maybe being integrated into the squad, but he's the man who's hit the ground running, gets the start. It speaks of his quality, doesn't it?
It speaks of his quality, and I'm sure from the time they made the announcement, you could tell, taking the number 2 jersey, always spoke that he was going to be a regular. And this is someone who is part of the fan favorites here in Zimbabwe, someone who has really played and has shown heart, the heart of Dynamos last season, if you were to ask me. When things are not happening for Dynamos, he is the guy that you run to. In the latter half of the season, we saw him banging in goals, just trying everything out of this world to make sure that he does go on to rescue Dynamos. So this is one big player and a big player for big matches as well. So Durban City definitely looking to make sure that they do creep up, the Champions League still within reach for them, and they would want to make sure that they do get there. So why not get one who's the best in the business at the right back, also playing as a wing as well. So it's something beautiful, and this guy certainly is going places.
I did manage to watch the match myself because I had to pick on analytics around it as well. We saw him commanding the defense, true of a team leader, and he carries it on. In as much as he's a newbie in that side.
there are players who are born as leaders, and there are those who are groomed to be leaders.
Right.
But when you look at Jalai, he was born to be a leader.
Yeah.
Even when he commands the back four for Durban City, it shows the level of maturity within his football career that he has reached right now. Because if you look at what he possesses on and off the field, he's a leader.
Yeah.
And especially when he's on the field, he's a fighter and he's a leader. He is also able to encourage his teammates, because you could tell he was shaping the defense when they were not shaping well, and also when he was leading the defense in terms of attack also at the same time. But to be honest with you, Jalai has always been a leader. He has been the captain of Dynamos for the past 2-3 years, and it's not easy task to captain Dynamos. Then you go to South Africa, you are also one of the leaders within the back four, and being in the back four, you need somebody who's vocal, who's able to communicate with his center backs, especially if he's playing as a right back. You must be able to communicate with your teammates at the same time, and also be able to command and to detect the pass, especially when you're starting play from the back.
Indeed, and that speaks to the advantage that Zimbabwe will have with him there, because in the national team setup, he's one of those senior younger players, if you want to, if there's anything correct about that statement, nonetheless. Indeed, and he's that kind of player who we saw the current coach deploying in different roles. For him, could this be really him also in South Africa checking and feeling the competition at a different level, different task, from a struggling Dynamo side that was fighting relegation, which he did show, and he continues with that kind of form?
Well, you know, the coach, Mario Marinica for the Warriors, he has been experimenting with him, playing midfield roles, going back to defense. So this is one guy who brings that versatility that you need. And that versatility, it really speaks about his intelligence as a player, you know, on and off the ball, which is going to be crucial for Durban City. And we emphasize this, it won't be a surprise if we see Durban City making it either to the CAF Champions League or the CAF Confederation Cup, because this is a determined side. Looking at their statistics, they have conceded 11 goals so far in 16 matches, 9 clean sheets in that, and now bringing in Jalai will just bolster their chances. And Jalai is one player that I see in the present and in the future of the Warriors. And certainly the coach, Mario Marinica, would say, you know, I would want to center my player around this young man because he can work. I can deploy him anywhere I want, and he will certainly bring the results. And that intelligence is something that we want. Intelligence, the talent, and everything, it speaks volumes of a player that Chipopi is.
Indeed, and of course, that's a bit about Emmanuel Jalai, but let's now move on, Reynolds, to another Zimbabwean star that is shining in Scotland, can't stop scoring. Everyone now is really under pressure. Why didn't they play the first games? But we know that the type of play is always different for every coach, and the style as well. Does he fit in? Does he start him to play? Can he create a bit of hunger in him and so forth? But take nothing away from his form in the Scottish Premier League. And already important vouchers are knocking in to just try and snap him away from Motherwell.
Well, you
Tawanda
know,
Maswanhise.
What a player we have got in Tawanda Maswanhise. Someone to call him passport. Recently, some are calling him scientific. And, well, to do it also in front of Mario Marinica. Wow, that was a spectacle. And I've been seeing on social media, the banda is saying he had to show it straight to his face that, you know, you benched me, but I was quality. But, you know, the young man has been doing enough, now into double figures, and he keeps on scoring for fun. One player that he has scored in now 4 tournaments that he has played in this season, and he has scored in all of those tournaments. So it tells you so much about him as a player, and it's not just the goals, the assists coming in, you know, his intelligence, his runs, you know, when you see him making those runs into the box, everything, he knows how to position himself, he knows where to place himself, and he knows where the ball is coming to. So he is one player that we really need to leverage on and say, if the Warriors are going to make it even to AFCON 2027, that is in sight, then definitely he is one player that we need to go to. And I'm sure that Mario and Marinica are going to watch that match and going to see the talent for himself. It speaks volumes that, you know, Tawanda Maswanhise may be part of his project, and certainly he may want to build the project around Maswanhise and his pace, his intelligence, and everything that he possesses?
Coach, I'll come to you on two aspects that I want you to address and maybe contribute to. I like, the visit that the current Zimbabwe National Warriors team did to go there, because I believe also we should not focus on him wanting to go and apologize to a player, but also to find out from the club itself, to say, how can I effectively use this kind of player? Because he used a certain system that he's thriving in, and I also want to translate that into effectively using him for my system in the team, instead of him just going to say sorry for benching you. I'm not sure it wasn't about that, because I believe we've got a technically sound coach in Marinica in that instance. But also, how do you keep that kind of player grounded and make him understand the different form that he finds himself in, that is for the Scottish League, for the Motherwell, and the form that he needs to carry for the national team with specific instructions from a gaffer? You keep a player like that grounded so that it doesn't get overhead for him.
Vatora mashoko amwe anaida kutaura kuti hey munhu akatokwira ndege kukumbira ruregero kuti ashamari
Imagine. I didn't believe, for starters, I couldn't believe that. I don't believe that. In as much, maybe, probably you might have, but I believe coaches, they are people who work differently and they want to achieve the best out of player.
Jokes aside, to be honest with you, as a coach, you need to understand your player on a personal level. That is the visit that he went to Scotland to watch Tawanda on the field of play. It's not only on the field of play. Probably they had time to talk about the pros and cons of football, where they went wrong with the AFCON and what the future was for Tawanda and the coach himself, and also for Zimbabwean football. You need to understand the player, especially those who were not born in Zimbabwe and who did not grow up under our cultures. And also him coming from a different culture as a coach, it is not easy. But one thing that I appreciate from the coach is that he has humbled himself and said, no, let me go and watch and understand this young boy. This boy is a gem and a good talent and the future of Zimbabwean football, to be honest with you. And when we talk about Zimbabwean football right now, we're not going to talk about Knowledge Msona. Those are the past. We're not going to talk about Nete anymore. His time is almost around the corner. We're not going to talk about Nakamba after that diving header that he produced for us at the AFCON. But we are going to talk about
Diving what?
Diving header. Okay, diving, that diving self.
It's called the golden end.
The golden end. But I don't think that one is the golden end. I think that was
rotten end.
The rotten end. Yes. But to be honest with you, you need a coach like that. A coach who understands a player, and a player must also understand the coach. Respect goes both ways. You know, he has humbled himself and decided to go and watch the boy, understand who he really is on and off the field. Yeah. And when you understand how a player plays and how he feels when you bench him or he's not playing, that really affects even the whole squad at the same time when he's your best player. Currently, he is the best that we have, especially in terms of the squad that went to play at the AFCON. And he needs to stay grounded, like what you asked me. How do we do that? We need to show him love. We need to appreciate him. We need to feed him with great things, that he is valued by his country. He is valued by everybody. He is the future of Zimbabwean football.
And understanding also the reality of Zimbabwean football.
And exactly. And he needs also to appreciate and understand where Zimbabwean football is coming from. Remember, we had been suspended, not banned. We were suspended by FIFA after the CAF no stadium and some of the things that were happening within our setups. If he understands, the culture also comes in. It is like a hand and a glove. You know, you want to wear a glove, but you cannot wear it on the right side when it's a left one. The coach is
ask O.J. Simpson about wearing a glove.
Yeah, you can ask him. Yeah. So if a coach has time to talk to Tawanda, and they spoke to one another, they understand each other, no love was lost. We as football fans, we do not agree when one of our best players is not playing. And the stats were proving us right that Tawanda is currently the best player that Zimbabwe is having before the tournament started. And to see him not playing, it doesn't go down well with the fans. But as a coach who was just coming in prior to the tournament, it was about 4 to 5 weeks. That
he had less than 30 days with the players. With some of those days also reduced to 12 with the squad.
Some of them were just reduced to 3 days.
3 days because he had to trim the squad, bring in, make them...
Like the likes of Tawanda, they arrived, I think, on a Saturday after the football match, and our first game was on Tuesday.
Yes. Yeah.
So he did not have too much time. But I also appreciate this time. I just want to appreciate also ZIFA for this, because they are the ones who fund the coach for his trips and accommodation, so that he is able to understand all his players. And I hope he's going to visit not just Tawanda, he's going to visit all the players that are playing abroad and understand who they are, what they are, their personalities are like. The most important thing for a football coach is to understand the character of a player off the field. This is the most important thing. If he's not happy off the field,
that's
don't
Ferguson
him.
for you, the Ferguson culture.
No.
You would make sure you... I remember I watched something when Ryan Giggs says he wanted to go out for the weekend, because they didn't have a game. And guess what? So Alex Ferguson pitches up, stays the whole day. He was thinking, I'm Darango here 2 seconds. Ubarwa pass. And the data ka Barango fa. To tambani vana.
That was a good. So
because he knew what he was doing, he needed to make sure he understands.
So you need a coach like that. This is one thing that the Zimbabwean coaches will like. We need to understand our players. We need to manage them, not coach them. If you manage them on and off the field, you get the result that we require at the same time. This has been done by Jose Mourinho for your birthdays or your children's birthdays. He has the diaries of every player that he has coached before in coaching, and he sends presents or flowers even for the wives. So understanding a player brings you good results. If a player is happy on and off the field, then we've got results. And one aspect of the game that I've understood, especially is coming from the Portuguese coach, who's currently coaching Portugal, Roberto Martinez. Yeah. He once said, if you go and watch a player live when he's playing, you will pick up points that you will never pick when he's at the national team. The way he sulks, or is he happy, his mood when he's on the bench, those are the things that you can only pick when you go and watch them when they're playing for their clubs.
Quite interesting indeed. And lessons to be learnt for Tawanda Maswanhise, so that we extract the best out of him. I don't like comparing players because of different generations. Yes, but you can't avoid what the fans are predicting, that probably he could be the next best thing after Peter Ndlovu, Knowledge Msona, and now he can come in there and carry the Zimbabwean flag with great pomp and same structure as the predecessors.
Well, the social media is calling out giving the number 12 jersey, and this is something that everyone is literally waiting on. But my concern is, if we are to go back, what we have done in the past, there is the passport incident with the same young fella. Then after the
rough introduction to Zimbabwean football, and he has to understand that. Because
the question now is, how will he adapt to that, and how does he take it?
That's the thing, because this is what Marinica said in an interview that we had with him on the sidelines of the Africa Cup of Nations after Zimbabwe lost to Egypt. He says to me, these diaspora players have to understand the toughness and roughness of coming to play for an African team. They won't get the same treatment. They should expect the treatment that they're getting now. That's the passport issue.
Yeah.
The players themselves, the politics amongst the players. And I'll tell you, the Zimbabwe national team has got 3 camps.
Yeah.
The diaspora boys.
Yeah.
The Aces Academy, Harare, whatever, boys.
Which is now going out of fashion.
Then now the one that is currently in control.
Yeah.
That is the Bulawayo boys.
Yeah.
The Bulawayo Southern Region boys.
Yeah.
These are the 3 structures that you have to understand in the politics. So if we are going to be soft, you're not going to play. Because and good training and but because that's not our time.
Yeah.
So this is the politics that you are saying, that these players need to understand and appreciate and stick together, support each other. And I think that's where I just thought, let me bring in that, so that we look at how players, when they come to play for African teams, need not to sulk as special players who play in Europe. There's no special place. There's somebody fighting for the same bread that you have.
Let's look at this, Fava. We have got, at this time, I think we are at the peak of our talent. if we are to talk of football talent, you know, right across Europe, we have got talent that is quite exciting.
Quite imagine.
And this talent, the majority of it, the bulk of it, he has not experienced African football. So when they see this example that we are setting, I remember Sean Fusire at one point, he wanted to come. He needed first class because of his injury. Then we said, we don't have the money. Don't worry, we'll call someone else.
When it's to play for a first class ticket for these other lads when they were going to South Africa, because somebody decided to give them a round trip and try and save money for ZIFA's pocket, not to book them a direct flight to Johannesburg, and then take a flight from Johannesburg to Durban.
So these players are looking, they hear these stories, and next time you want to bring in someone like Shumaira Meuka, and England is already interested in him. Then he hears of these controversies. At that point, he's like, why should I go and play for Zimbabwe if they do not appreciate me in the first place? Someone like Trey Nyoni, someone, you know, all these names.
You know, the answer that I got from Marinica, he said to me, Valentine, we don't have to lure these boys. These boys, as a starting point, should retrace their roots and have the passion to first come and play for the nation, not to what to expect when they come to play for the nation, but have the passion to come and play the nation and represent the badge. If they have that running through their veins, he spoke of ancestry, saying that's where the culture and the values are derived from. And he says, we don't have to lure them. They have to come. Then we support them and in terms of our management, so that then we instill the values and the understanding. This is when I said, he is thinking. He is somebody who's not saying, yes, you are Meuka.
Yeah.
Yes, you are playing for, we don't have to lure you and beg you to come and play for Zim, but you have to show interest to come and play for Zim. Then you leave the rest for those that you've shown interest to, that you want to commit to play for Zim. Then you understand the, I don't know, Coach, in terms of culture cultivation, because I think it's part of your syllabi now in coaching players so that they understand who they are and in terms of how you draw motivations. We did see at the Africa Cup of Nations now players from Europe singing the national anthem. It never used to happen. They never used to know how to sing their own national anthem. And it's still happening with Zimbabwe. The players from the diaspora don't sing the national anthem.
They don't even
They
know
can't sing the national anthem. But if you watch Senegal, Ivory Coast, the passion when the national anthem is being sung, you can tell it's now here. It's not about I play in Europe and I don't have to know the national anthem or anything, but there's a great significance when it comes to the national anthem itself and the respect and the passion you give it.
You know, when you sing the national anthem before the match, it's goosebumps all over your body, and you know the way you're thinking also within yourself, your heart is pumping, like the adrenaline is there. You want to hear the national anthem. You want national anthem being sang by the crowd. You sing along with them, and it's something that gives you the motivation that you are going to on the field of play to fight for your nation. But to be honest with you, the thing is, those who were born in Europe. Well, yes, many people like to say these are the British Brigade or the diaspora community, but first and foremost, these are Zimbabwean, born outside of Zimbabwe. But before they were born there, their parents were born in Zimbabwe and migrated to Europe for greener pastures. These are the first people who should tell the history of Zimbabwe in a good way to their kids. But to be honest with you, 90% of these people are diverting the history in a way that their kids don't understand who they really are, because they are living on a borrowed culture within the football circles, even football circles or non-football circles. They are living on a borrowed culture. Now, if a boy is able to eat sada in England, that's where the culture starts. Are you able to come back home on a regular when they are young to understand who they are, take them to their roots, back to their roots, they understand who they are. When they come here, when they are now seasoned footballers in Europe coming back to Zimbabwe, they don't understand who they are because they've already grasped this when they were young. They will know what and ndogona kubva ndakabva ku-UK but ndogona kutofamba futi ndite slippers rakaita se rakaboka but kana ingori everything is on a silver platter. Pavanozouya kuno kumanje ndo patoita maproblems ekunational team kuti a player notaura kuti handisi kuda kuuya ndiri mu-economy class ndoda first class ticket. do you blame that player? Do you blame
That's
ZIFA?
the
You
last
we
job
have
they
to
are used
blame
to.
the parents because they did not teach them when they were young, coming back home so that they understand who they are. And I do believe that the coach, yes, he has said some of the things that are correct. But we need also to ask them to sell the idea, to sell the plan for the national team, that in 4 or 5 years' time, we want to be there, and you are going to be part of the boys or the players who are going to be the core of this team, taking this national team to the first World Cup appearance. If you just say, we want you to come and play for the national team, then the boy will say, what are you, what is your plan?
Yeah.
You go to Meoka, who's currently, he was in the first team squad for Chelsea last week, I think last week or 2 weeks back, and you ask him to come and play for Zimbabwe. And then he will say, Zimbabwe? Does he even know anybody here in Zimbabwe?
Yeah.
They are those who know who their relatives back home, who they are. They are those who follow Zimbabwean football. They are those who are interested in coming back and play Zimbabwean football. And then you look at the Brazilians, before they retire, they want to go back and play for one of their local teams. But have you ever heard of any Zimbabwean coming back to say, I want to go and back, I was born in England, but before I retire, I want to go and play for Highlanders or Dynamos. Except for what's his name was it? Caps United.
Yeah,
Benu, who came because he was no longer playing in England.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, let us sell the idea to them. What is good about Zimbabwean football? Where it will take you. The prospect of playing at the World Cup is is something that is very, very good for them.
And
That's
Baba,
a long-term project.
That's a long-term project, but there is an
And
issue
for
that you did bring in that, what the coach said, let us not lure these guys. They should be attracted to their roots.
Exactly.
But, if we are to go back a little bit in history, we have got players that have highlighted their interest to play for the Warriors. You talk of the likes of Michael Ndiweni. He highlighted his interest, but the core never came. And we have got so many. The names are now skipping me.
Because we look at
Yes.
first we have to look at the quality.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It has to be
Yeah.
verified. It's not only about interest that you have, because some have got interest because they know they don't have the quality. And now the coaches and the system does not allow them to say, yeah, you might be playing there, but you're not of the right quality. We've got better
But
left
we are
back here.
looking at this.
But
For
also,
example,
wait, I'm
Michael-
coming with my
Yeah.
point. So I believe we need ZIFA to have a system like he mentions, Coach Doubt mentions, that Zimbabwe has to offer something attractive, a project of some
players.
sort,
Yeah.
to say in the next World Cup
Yeah.
or not the World Cup after 2030, this is the one that we are targeting.
Yeah.
This is the one. It's a deliberate approach. It's a deliberate system to say we want to achieve so and so, and it doesn't have to be at the senior men's point. No.
Start
We
from
are
the
saying
juniors
go
as well.
and win the under-20 World Cup.
Yeah.
Under
Go
17s,
go
under
and
20.
qualify for the under-17 World Cup and participate there. And then these boys can be attracted to come there. So it's the structure has to be. It doesn't have to be at the top, going to the bottom. Let's start at the bottom, going up.
That's the thing. We have got a lot of under 21 players, under 23
That's what
players
I'm saying.
that are really making outs in Europe there.
Look at Morocco. They
Yeah.
under-21 the World Cup.
Yeah.
In
let's start from
1999,
there.
in 1999, we had a visitor by the name of Brian Statham.
Yeah.
We are talking about something about 27 years back.
Yeah.
He is one of the first Zimbabweans born here in Zimbabwe when he was 2 left for England. Played for Tottenham Hotspur's first team in England under 21. He was one of the first people to want and come for the national team.
Yeah.
But due to some of the experiences that he faced during that time, it is difficult for him to sell the idea to his kids that you can play for Zimbabwe because I was born there. Because when he tried to come here to play for Zimbabwe, he was never given a fair chance.
Yeah.
You know, there's always under the table dealings that are trying to happen so that people can lure you. Look at today, one of the best players in the world, Kylian Mbappe. When he wanted to play for Cameroon, how it
frustrated
changed.
by the system.
You know, the system.
Yeah.
This system must change. We need people who understand football within these systems. Also, to have a setup with a team that we really know that these are not interested in the financial side, but in the
Development side.
development and the progress of the national teams that we have at hand.
Yeah.
Started under 15s, under 17s. These young boys must be integrated within the society that we are part of. They get to meet and mingle with the youngsters that are also the best that we have here in Zimbabwe. When they grow up within the same system with those, when they get to the age of 23, 24, we've got a strong bond that do not have divisions, that we are from Harare, we are from Blawai, we are from Masvingo, or we are from the diaspora community. We speak with one volume, we play with one heart, and we play with one mind. That is being Zimbabweans.
But
Gentlemen, that's a topic for another day. Otherwise, we won't finish. It's a whole topic on its own.
It's a book on its own.
Yeah,
it's a grieving topic.
I know.
There is a lot of expectations
Indeed.
that the fans have when they think of these players, and it's just not coming to life. Year after year, we
ZIFA,
have these stories.
here. Let's get right about our football. Let's put the right structures for the good integration of diaspora players with our local-based players and those based in the continent. And so that there is that cohesion. Let's have a deliberate approach and a target to say, what do you want to achieve in the next 10 years? Do you want to qualify for the Under-17 World Cup? Before you even qualify for the Senior Men's World Cup, but qualify for the Junior World Cups or Junior tournaments.
Those
at
are
the
the-
highest level. That's the foundation.
Yes,
Let's
that's the
start
foundation.
with AFCON.
Yes, if it AFCON.
Before we go to the World Cup,
World Cup,
because
yeah.
we are even struggling to make it to AFCON.
You see now?
COSAFA,
That's what
we
I'm
are
mentioning.
struggling.
We need to start by winning COSAFA under 17
17,
under 20s.
yes.
Then let's look ahead to qualifying for AFCON.
Then-
But once you reach the top three of COSAFA, automatically you qualify for the AFCON.
Yep.
Then if you are in the top three, also top three, top four for
Of the
AFCON,
continent?
you go to the World Cup automatically. So
There's
this,
also that
we need
Olympics.
the Olympics, but the Olympics are still a long way for us, to be honest with you.
true.
But we need to aim where we are able to
shoot.
grasp and
Yeah.
also to produce results. Let's try to bring the best players at under 17s and under 20s, not the underhand dealings that we are seeing in Zimbabwe.
Wait till ZIFA tells you that someone who's playing for Blackburn Rovers needs to undergo trial to play for under 17.
Let me tell you one thing. Last year, I had a talk with one of the ZIFA people before the under 17 soccer, under 17 COSAFA tournament. He told me we've assembled the best national team for Zimbabwe, and they are going to win the tournament. And I believe the witnesses, they understand this topic. And he himself, if he's watching you, remember what I told him. I told him that you haven't selected the best.
So
Because
there
the
you
best
have
are
it.
still at home.
Oh, there you have it. So there's a lot that we need to heal and treat and do about our Zimbabwean football. But that's why we're here on the show, Strictly Football, on our YouTube channel right here. But gentlemen, let's come back to local football.
Yeah.
He's finally arrived. And after all the wallabull, the changes, the back and forth, he's been introduced as the Ezimnyama Ngenkani Bosso coach. That is Benjani Mwaruwari.
Yeah.
He played for Highlanders at the junior level. Some will argue he trained with them, never played for them. And, you can't find his roots there, but I'm sure he is somebody that I'm sure the fans can look forward to. His appointment comes with a lot of pressure, Reynolds, because it comes with controversy. It comes with hands-on and tags. He's tagged, and it's going to be a difficult task. Ungabona iSoweto isihlabile ukuthi into yenzayo zayizonda ube wasoyilahla la. Sokuyaba nzima la. Anengaripama one chayo.
Yeah.
And the first 5 games for him are going to be very, very crucial for his progress, because the supporters, some of them feel something was taken away from them. But for some, they're saying, it's great progress. Let's embrace it. This is where the future of football is going. But let's take, for instance, let's talk about the pressure the appointment comes in with for Benjani and what is praised on him coming in. He's a man who only coached Ngezi Platinum Stars, and it's not a remarkable record that he has to speak of.
Yeah.
But for everyone, they have to start somewhere.
Well, definitely, this guy just graduated recently. That's in England. So probably maybe he has added some bit of skills to his coaching. But, it's not every great player that is a great
You'll be using science.
Yeah.
You'll be scientific. So don't worry about it.
And, one thing I'm worried about, he has a UEFA license and he now has that, is it a diploma in the Premier League football? And this is European football.
The highest level.
And for him to be able to manage African football, well, there is a lot that is needed from him. But of
And
course,
there are things that he has to introduce as well to our football for the growth of it and development.
but the question now is, will Highlanders have the patience to say, we will give you all the time
Apha
to develop
ngiyakutshela
our grassroots?
abaphuza ukuhlabela into yenzayo
Because
siyayizonda.
I don't see him surviving 20 matches, except if
He's really
the benefactor really makes sure he doesn't go anywhere.
hayi now andichabona usufuna ukuthi abantu bethenga amagame. Hayi. Gosh, it's complicated for him, but it is what it is. He has to man up and lead Highlanders to somewhere, because Highlanders, since the emergence of Facebook, I always mention, they've never won the league.
Since 2000.
And since Chakuchichi was born, captained the junior sides of the Zimbabwean football, and went to AFCON as the youngest player, Highlanders have never won the league.
Highlanders bangoya kaoma. Akana zvakadaro abawanawo. But and then to be honest with you, for Zimbabwean football, it's great to have him back, to be honest with you. There are certain things that you bring to Highlanders, especially in terms of organization, professionalism, and new ideas also at the same time. I remember when Norman Mpesa came to Caps United as the assistant coach, what he brought under Charles Mhlauri, the value, the added value that he gave them, it was pure class, and they improved and won titles when he was there. It's the same thing that happened at FC Platinum. We saw how they were dressed, how things were happening, and it's going to be the same thing with the Highlanders again. Many things will change, the way they train, the way they travel, the accommodation things, even in terms of payment of players, many things will definitely change. And the most important thing now is the on-field tactics, how you groom players to be professionals. He has played at the highest level. He has played for Man City, Auxerre, Jomo Cosmos, coming back here to Zimbabwe, Air Jets, we can name a lot. Grasshoppers, he has learned a lot and learned a lot from different coaches, different cultures. And coming back home for him, it's a welcome home, second welcome home after that third time at Ngezi. At Ngezi, there were people who wanted him.
He changed a lot of things.
He changed.
For the
there were people who wanted him, but there were others who did not want that change.
And he's faced with the same scenario.
Yeah, they knew that he did not know much about Zimbabwean football at that time. To be honest with you, as a player, he was brilliant, but as a coach, when he came, he wasn't good. But now
is he good now?
No, it's now the second coming.
The second coming, he has learned. We expect him to have learned.
The European way doesn't just work the way it works. The Zimbabwean way.
He's got him Kokeli now to task him.
I feel like, instead of going to undertake the studies that he undertook in the UK, he should have carried out some studies here where he wants to coach.
ZIFA.
Well, you could just...
Because that's why they're the course initiators.
Be
because if ZIFA is not offering even CAF A, what do you expect?
I feel like, it is easier for him to go to Coach Dowd and say, Coach Dowd, you have been working with the grassroots. Can I just be on attachment for just 3 months just to learn?
You know who he's got for that right now? He's got Mkokeli, who is an assistant, who has been with the juniors, who has got a club. He's got a club of his own.
He's learning on the job.
No, he has to. I mean, he's to deliver. He can't learn. He's to deliver. He can't be learning. There's no learning curve.
How does he deliver when he does not know the landscape?
No. He has football. There are certain things that are similar in football.
Football is the same.
Football is the same.
Yeah.
Tactically, whatever. But It's the material that you use and how you implement.
The only difference in football is the culture.
It's the culture.
Of these fans.
Wow.
Chete.
You understand this, Benjani, because at one time he was refused the entrance to Baba
And
Field.
akakwira.
Fans,
Fans, anotozviziva.
He knows, he understands the demand.
Where asiyana kana Maswanhise. Where he was born here. He's a Phumula boy.
Yeah.
So
Like
he understands.
Me. And as much as he went, he was staying in Makwekwe.
Yeah.
He would come and play for East Rovers, the Phumula.
Yeah.
That's where we played there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why we played. Him, junior, in same level with some of us. Akatanga East Rovers.
Yeah.
Saka he knows with the guy it was saying Bhora. Asim Salad, Asana Maswanhise.
And he's going to fight.
Nana Chirewa.
And also,
Akatangira up.
Yeah.
Now, yes, reached there. So you understand.
So
we can't
so one thing about Benjani, there is less pressure on him, to be honest with you. Because of, like you said, the benefactor will come in. They traveled all the way from Bulawayo. He was not picking up his calls, their calls. They waited by his gate for hours and hours till somebody from Avu drove and made sure that they made the benefactor. And also, to be honest with you, that was the right call. Kana usina mari ita zvinoita kuti mhuri yako irarame. Zvavaida kuita zvezvokuti tinotaridza kochi watiri kuda isusu musina mari yekuzobhadhara kochi wacho nemaplayer hazviitwe tombotora iripo panguva iyoyo.
You know, on one hand, there is, the issue to do with football. Highlanders, I'm a Highlander supporter myself. We love to win, we love to play, and just the beauty of it. Senong was bringing that.
No, Senong wasn't bringing the money into the game.
The money
you have to understand. You have to understand.
The money we need.
We are getting into this topic. It's a topic that is
filled.
Yes, but what was happening? What's happening to that money? $3 vamachopinda mahara vajamba upinda bev avasokubhadhara. Don't say when Highlanders when BF is full.
It's the quality now.
Every
if Highlanders right now goes to play in the CAF Champions League or CAF Confederation Cup, we are expecting something, because Highlanders being a brand, it really needs to produce something that everybody will see and will emulate and will say, yeah, this is Highlanders. The moment we try to jeopardize that and we are now chasing the bag, I feel like those shortcuts are really going to...
It's a chalk and... the chalk and what?
Slam.
You have to understand this.
Yeah.
The dynamics of what's currently happening in Zimbabwean football, where clubs are becoming wealthier, where traditional clubs now don't have to rely on filling up the stadium as the only point of revenue.
Yeah.
All right? Clubs are now being controlled with those that have got resources.
Yeah.
And if the administration has failed to correct that measure, because I believe Highlanders lost its way some 15 years ago.
Yeah, true.
Your Highlanders used to be well managed.
Yeah.
Better than Dynamos.
Yeah.
Dynamos used to thrive in chaos, not Highlanders. Highlanders used to thrive in good organization, with good, sound administrators.
Yeah.
But they've lost their way in that for the past 15 years. I'll go back as 15 years. I can make it 18, but 15, to be kind. They've lost their way. They've lost some great football brains along the way, and they've not been able to replace those great football brains like Dumiso Kumete, for instance, Kenny Ndebele, for instance, and the late, what was his name? We used to bounce the ball per center before kickoff. Mapepa. Yes. Yes, they've lost such administrators, who understood the culture, who understood the crowd, who understood generating resources.
But look at this. It's now back to the
economy
issue
has changed.
Where we have got people who do not have Highlanders at heart, but you have got finances at heart.
The problem is you think they don't have Highlanders at heart. For them to make those kind of decisions to say, let's get the financial support and financial muscle that we need for Highlanders.
But then, Vava, there is a secular Highlanders rights. We have received 250,000 from Sale Week now. Then next week they are bound to play Chibugu Super Cup. Then you hear the players are on a strike.
What is the problem?
Administration.
Thank you.
Administration.
Who votes those administrators into office?
we now have people who do not have the carpet
guys,
but
these people are
the
elected
finances
into
at
office.
hand.
These people are not appointed into office like
the
coaches.
same thing that we are saying.
These are elected officers. Yes. So who's to blame? It is the electorate. They should take responsibility because they are choosing the wrong office bearers. Because you are voting the electoral college.
Right now,
why are they not holding them accountable for the failures? 250. Audited reports are now good.
Plus the good thing the good thing about Highlanders and this deal that is in place, they now have a new bus.
Yes. Imagine, reclining seats. My players, Reynolds, you see the goodness of being sponsored by people. Yes, you might not want their money, but look at what they are going to do. It's about you now doing right about your administrators.
Yeah.
They have to use that money effectively for the benefit of the tournament,
wisely.
not for their selfish reasons and pockets.
But
so now,
guys,
that's what I'm saying, Teresa. They've been bought a bus.
Yeah.
Reclining seats now when they travel to Harare, my players are not going to fresh, Baba.
Yeah.
In as much as I know at Dynamos Chawonza it's back, so I think we will see Dynamos flying because when he was there, Dynamos would fly all the time. So now that Chawonza is back at Dynamos, probably we will see. But this I'm saying about administrators being effective in the positions that they have had. That's why I'm saying I will put the blame on the supporters themselves. They are those that are not members.
Yeah.
But if you want to effect a change that you want, be participant. You can't be saying you want to say elections are rigged, yet you have not participated. Say elections were rigged because you've got evidence that you participated and you are choosing the right administrators.
Your vote is missing.
Your vote is missing. That's what we are saying.
I'm just waiting for a call to the clubhouse so that we can just contribute something.
Come on. Let's move on, gentlemen. Right, let's talk about the conundrum that Hunters has brought into the Premier Soccer League. And I think it's a good mess. Let me say why it's a good mess. They have put us in a system that has prompted investigations into how administratively the PSL and ZIFA need to administer Zimbabwean football in terms of franchises. I think for me, it's one of the best messes. I don't know your take around it because they found themselves in bed with two mates. That is first Harare City, now Ngombeaora.
Yeah.
And these are two teams not in their region. And we saw this challenge with Moz and ZPC Wange as well, where you find a region now is disenfranchised or a region is disadvantaged in terms of representatives because somebody has sold their franchise to the biggest bidder. Your take on that?
Well done to Hunters. Thank you very much for
the mess.
For the mess, and football is one.
Yeah.
When I say football is one, it is the people who were paying to watch those Division 1 matches when Hunters were in the Eastern region, Division 1.
I don't understand it. They're in Marondera, but it's okay.
Yeah, it starts with around going the side. So if we need to give thanks to the fans who were with us, the 12th man, is those who were paying to watch the matches at home, traveling to support the team again away. These people were parting away with their hard-earned cash. And then when you have such people and you want to deprive them of the PSL football within their local area, and then you sell your franchise to somebody in Harare or somebody
who's
at the waterworks there,
yes.
Then you think it's something that is good. That is bad. Whatever deal that they are going to enter, football must remain in that region of Maron that are going the eastern side, so that those who are within that area can be able to witness PSL football. they are
Boss,
young
vavada kutowanzira matimu harare apa hapana mastadium acho.
then besides kuti hakuna mastadiums handiti ivo vacho kuharare vari kutadza nekukwakalifya mubhora macho vangozviwinira mafranchise avo
Competition yacho is too stiff.
ndoko kana vaida kuti dai vakangonotenga franchise kudhara ikoko division vanopinda vari ikoko vachibva nekoko handiti let us not rob other people of their success. This is a successful story for Hunters. Stay in Marondera.
Your take?
Well, I'm looking at an era which is not so good for the Eastern region. You know, look at this. Last season, 2 of the 4 relegated teams came from the Eastern region. That is Greenfield as well as Bikita Minerals and Triangle. We're so close also to getting out. Over the years, we have been losing Eastern region teams. And now we find ourselves with this issue. And if Hunters sell that franchise, then certainly it will be a disservice to the Eastern region because that one ticket they were warping on will not be coming. But, well, it all goes back to the issue of money versus football at heart. And this is a crisis that we now have. The Southern region will tell you they were robbed last season. Now it is Hunters. And I'm sure that everybody could tell from the moment that Clifford Jairo left Hunters, everybody knew that something is cooking. And certainly this is not good for our football. One region is suffering, the Eastern region. And it is about time that we do put up structures that make sure that we do preserve these teams coming through from the regions so that at the end of the day, we will have that balance. The 4 regions of Zimbabwean football need to be represented until we move on to a national league that we hope will come on board soon. But, well, this is not good for our football. This is a disservice, and the Eastern region...
Now, ZIFA has to... And I understand now they don't have to lose, you know, the identity as Hunters.
Yeah.
In as much as they have sold the franchise.
Yeah.
I'm sure those that they are selling to are willing to move to Marondera.
Well, that is a big issue, though.
Yeah, so they're willing to move to Marondera and develop Rudaga Stadium so that it becomes FIB certified to host Premier Soccer League games.
From what we saw last season.
That's why I was saying that's why I'm saying this was a good mess. Why? Because now you can't take away the franchise away from the Eastern region. As we mentioned, that in as much as it's Marondera, it's in the Eastern region, according to the ZIFA, you know, statutes. So which means those that are going to, they're going to develop football
in the Eastern region.
In the Eastern region. In as much as my players,
that is the big issue.
It's a good thing kuti bhora kana raramba riri kumarondera handiti infrastructure wise yakufanira kudevelop handimuzwa even Norton has benefited from the so-called MOS setup. National teams under 17s were playing there.
Yeah.
So why can't we take football also to Marondera for the under 17s, under 20s to play
Harare City can build Rudaga, wataurana in exchange.
But they are not Harare. They are not Marondera.
But what I'm saying, and they're taking their football there.
The question now is...
but Bhora change.
But besides but hold on.
But look at this. They have to move everything.
Yes.
It's everything that is moving.
Yes.
Including the name.
From now.
So at the end of the day, it means
it will be known as Hunters because they are qualified.
Everything is a futile exercise.
Plus, also, why do we have to destroy history? This is
it's Hunters that qualified.
This is the tendency that Southern African football has been in. This kind of mess is not good. We've got Hunters, and when you buy Hunters, you change the name and you destroy the history that Hunters created. So we need history to be there.
Yeah.
You know, like today.
But these are loopholes that are in existence
with one of these teams. Bidfest from South Africa. For over 100 years, that history was just rubbed off the paper and completely say We don't know anything about Bidvest.
Yeah.
But Bidvest was a team that was formed 100 years ago. But today, do you understand that akusina Bidvest? Kwatoneka mwanzi tsekukune woche inaka na history. We need history. If Marondera has got Hunters has got about 5, 6, 7 years history. Let that history grow so that later, in 20, 25 years' time, people will understand where Hunters came from and who Hunters and who was the founder. And also,
but you
what
understand
benefits
that
communities.
the football ecosystem is a business.
It's a business.
It's not
Live-
about
live the name.
not giving a legacy.
Whatever
now-
we are going to do, PSL and ZIFA, when you buy somebody's franchise, that name must stay.
That's what we're saying. But if there's a loophole that does not enforce that, then it becomes problematic because either Ngombeaora or Harare City, for instance, can buy the franchise because it's acceptable.
But
There are no
but
such-
abazoramba
but
because
Abazvaramba because zvinonzi aiwa.
Marondera inofanira kugara rimo zita roramba rakaita sei?
That is the big problem now. You know, if we look at this and we start to have questions as well.
So are you saying if you have a team yabva
Yeah,
and it yatamba northern region
yeah,
and it
yeah.
wawina ningri, you know you can't afford because for the PSL I think per year you need about $500,000 for you to have a comfortable season,
Yeah.
salaries, administrative and so forth, and you know you can't pump out $500,000.
Yeah.
And you say okay, somebody brings you 300,000 to say I'm buying this.
Yeah.
It's business for you. It's good business. You can always go back with your guru and
Oyo Mumbiaora.
yes, and do
And your
It's
guru
business.
doesn't die.
So
right?
let's
But
allow.
now-
So you're agreeing that it's business. It's nothing personal.
Now,
Yeah,
Guru
it's business also.
remains alive, but you know, taking a new form, which is bad for our football.
But do you know why?
we
All right,
want to
well, I
be
think
able
I
to
agree with
just-
him.
Let's have people. Let's have. We don't want a case of Kwekwe United, guys.
But I know.
That's what we want to avoid.
No, it's not about a case of having a
I'm giving a case and an example in
believe-
Kwekwe United
Right.
where they couldn't afford games because
of certain issues. Financial
Yeah,
capacity
financial
was down.
yes.
But to be honest with you,
Why rebrand Harare City to
Ayo,
Wonders? Why rebrand
uyati
Mwaruwari
nini I can
to
afford.
Wonders?
So ndipo you are gone or you can't afford.
The reason why he's
Yeah,
coming
you're
with
in
the
a
offer
correction.
is said. The reason why
Because also ZIFA, you know what they need to do in the PSL? They need to say, guys, we need your financials. I don't trigger 500,000 for you.
but
but
500 capacity maripoti 500 inosvika kwaoriwo pakaqualifya makadi kugara mamutauro
And the league doesn't sponsor that much.
and-
as well.
and Vava-
So what I'm trying to say, listen, what I'm trying to
It's
say,
about
Anditi,
kupinda mleague, baba.
aiwa iyi yakaqualify nditi guys, do you know what in the past there were teams from Harare who have tried to use Rodaka. Is it Rodaka?
Yeah.
In
Yes.
Marondera.
Yeah.
Zvichiramba.
Zvichiramba. Handiti. Now kwaita mwana weikoko.
Yeah.
Ataiwa inini kachikafu ndabika. Vabereki chuya muite sei mudye. Chapa tafura apa. Handiti. Mapete nemakonzo zvese zvapinda mutafura imomo hapana anochidya. Ndozvada kuitika kapa.
Aiwa, but
Uyai ikoko. Mogara
but chokwadi
ikoko.
doubt knows ndechekuti chi.
I would accept.
Uyo ati ndabika.
Yeah.
But where is the community yamunoda kuti idhingirire?
Yeah. That's the issue.
Because that has also are raising the same to know this is not an individual team.
Yeah,
This
it's a
was a
community
community-based team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to benefit taka.
Yeah.
So the biggest ningiri ndiani aita kuti ipinde muchi. Akashandisa mari yake no.
But
Ivi maiko
now-
support because vana venyu.
Aiwa uyo
Now,
asi kuramba
Baba,
kutengesa.
look at this.
Handiti ari kuchengetedza utano hwenzvimbo yaakakurira kuti no.
Iyo
Mari yangu
takubvira.
ndikuida.
Inini
Handiti,
pacho-
asi utano hwangu futi ndikuida sei?
I think
My
we're in
only
agreement
problem-
in certain ways to say
my
that
only
is
problem- Yeah.
don't deprive the region of football.
Yeah.
And because I don't Harare nebulawayo.
I'm in agreement with that.
Tangu netuma
But
team.
my only problem now is, you know, Vava, if you sell me your car, then yaga brand owns Valentine Mabugu. Ndorama ndifamba nayo yakadzi Valentine Mabugu.
Ndizati
Whenever
kutaura-
I chiti, this is Valentine Mabugu.
So I know that it's a different business altogether because it's
Now,
personal.
for the person who's buying, this is a disservice to them.
Yeah,
because
of course.
they are buying because they
So
want
we
their
need
brand.
to find a common stance. Gentlemen, I think we need to conclude because today it has been really hot and quite interesting. But I can't go without touching on Simba Bhora and the Malawian import. And it looks like everybody was complaining. Simba Bhora has lost so many players, but it looks like they're not afraid to recruit.
No, sometimes you need to go away from home to look for talent. And they went to Malawi, and
Yeah, recycle like the same old players.
and the player that they brought in is also a former national team player. He was playing for the last champions of the Malawian League last year. Although he wasn't commanding the first team jersey, he lost it over the course of the season. But that experience for him to play for the national team will be an added value to Simba Bhora. And also, sometimes you don't need to beef your squad because we've got a player in Nawayo or in Bedbridge or in Wange. You need to go beyond your borders and look for the talent that goes along with what you want to achieve. And I think it's a big statement also for Simba Bhora that they've got some foreign players that are coming in, and they're not just looking at the foreign players, they've also looked at the local talent. But with the critical positions that they want, they've gone to sign within beyond our borders.
All right, Renat, I know you want to come in, contribute and so forth, but I kusina kudedelana for it. Kwamele ungixolele namhla ngitime yuyu. Kumele sike sithi xeke sikhambe sithi sibone ukuthi namhla kungasiza kanjani. But I must thank you for coming through, and I'm sure next week we've got different topics, potential stadium to be built in Manhattan and many other topics that we're going to touch on, which shall be hot as well, because the issue of stadia in Zimbabwe is a big one. Can the PSL manage the games that they have with the stadia around, or they're going to compromise once again to say, okay, tongo reduce some standards bijana because I think time we got borarach. Tichango midira ma percentage National Sports Stadium kuta papi. I know but 6.7 on Zika. So we'll find out kuta papi. And of course, the new boys that have come in, wakayani stadium yavo ga. But yeah, zvakarongeka vari kuyani stadium yavo saka no. So, our viewers, I must thank you very much for joining us right here on Strictly Football. I must thank Kostat for making time and coming through. Thank you very much for making time.
Thank you, viewers.
And I must thank also Renat Guarati for coming through. Always a pleasure having you around. Always a gas of your time.
Tawanda 3 hours.
Producer Skills Makona, he's listening, and I'm sure you'll be giving us that much if there's going to be that leeway. But for myself, Valentine Mabug and the crew behind the scenes, it's Papai. And thank you for watching Strictly Football. Let's make a date again, same time next week, right here on our YouTube channel. That is ZBC Entertainment.